Hello everyone, welcome to, I'm definitely not inside Carrow Road, but that might be the big screen. It is chucking it down. I've managed to find some shelter just underneath the south stand, and I'll see if I can rattle through this nice and quickly. But Norwich City have won a game of football in injury time again. Would you Adam and Eve it? I just shaking my head really at this point, because I don't even think, I mean, we had a lot of obviously injury time winners during Paul Lambert's time, but quite remarkable turn of events again this afternoon. And in fairness, in fairly unnecessary circumstances, because Norwich were 2-0 up, a goal either side of half time. The first from Mario Vrancic, which was well taken. The second again was neatly worked, and Marco Stiefelmann followed that one for his first goal in the league at Carrow Road, and indeed in England, with the other two coming in Wales, as Chris Gorham politely informed me earlier. And Norwich were cruising really. A lot of the Bolton guys and Phil Parkinson, the manager, felt Bolton deserved something from this game, and I definitely can argue that, but to say it as a fact I think is pushing it slightly, because Norwich were the better side for long spells, as awkward as Bolton were. And they did have two good early chances in the first half, and again it was sort of a sloppy start from Norwich, and something they need to work on. More to the point, as is their defending, because for them to have conceded a 2-goal lead and find themselves back at 2-2 so late on, I think it was the 89th minute that the equaliser went in from Beavers, who was free at the far post. But both goals were just a bit hopeless. I need to watch them again, but just so many spaces in the box. Norwich weren't winning or clearing their lines. There's a lot of issues there in terms of how they were going about protecting their goal. And they just invited a lot of pressure, and it's a weakness we haven't really seen from them so much. And of course that probably filters in, you would imagine, to Tim Closer not being available today, injured in the warm-up, although Marco Stiefelmann mentioned that he actually picked it up yesterday in training, got a little whack. Now what it is, how bad it is, of course we're going to find out. We're not entirely sure. Hopefully it's not too bad, because I don't think there's any arguing that Norwich missed Tim Closer today. They miss him in terms of his quality on the ball, but also in terms of his defensive abilities. And you know, Norwich have, you look at the run of games they've had, let's be brutally honest, they've been playing teams in the bottom end of the table. And of course they go to Bristol City on Saturday, although I think they had a good win today. They were certainly winning at Birmingham. The run now gets a bit trickier either side of Christmas and New Year, and if Norwich keep gifting opportunities, eventually they're going to come unstuck. And I know Norwich will eventually lose a game anyway, but unstuck to the point where it gets in a rut, and they, you know, if they're trying to protect where they are in the division, it's not going to help if they're giving away chances like that. And that's not the first time I've mentioned it. And I think in a game like today, you know, you can mention that because it's 2-0 up, it should be a clear win and no worries and no dramas, and they did kind of throw that away. And I again could not see them picking up this injury time winner, but they did. 96th minute, Teemu Pukki, wonderful finish for a man who did nothing in the first 60 minutes, and the only thing he'd really done for the whole game up until that point was chase back Sammy Amiobi and win the ball. That was the best thing he'd done. Sammy Amiobi actually got sent off for a second booking. His first coming early in the first half, but his second coming very late on in the game. In fact, it was in injury time and moments before Norwich got their winner. So I don't think he'll be the most popular man in the Bolton dressing room, and he did look like a sending off waiting to happen after that first yellow, because he's just so clumsy as much as he is eccentric and carries a goal threat himself. So quite a game of drama really. Of course, in terms of all of the talk being about Pirates of the Caribbean and avoiding and acknowledging and taking on Manager of the Month curses, I think we ended up with a bit of a blockbuster in the end here as it played out. And you know, Carrow Road just continues to lap up the way this is going. It's remarkable. I confess I stood up when Norwich got that winning goal in the press box, which is not the done thing. I apologise to all around me. You shouldn't do it. But it's just phenomenal what Norwich are creating, and you know, and it's almost like it's always within themselves. So, but that will sorely be tested come the games coming up, because there are some pretty tough ones. And bearing in mind they're now, I think, 6 points ahead of Derby in third. That's pretty good going. 43 points from 21 games, and we're not even halfway yet. So it's phenomenal what Norwich are doing. 12 wins from 15 games. absolutely relentless form. It's the relentless winning form that I spoke about a few weeks ago, and it's just brilliant to watch Norwich achieving it, even though half the time they're achieving it and you are shaking their heads at just how they're doing it. And maybe that's why some teams, some other pundits maybe think that it will unravel. We will see. Interesting, we had a couple of national journalists here today interviewing Marco Stiepelman alongside myself and Chris Gorham. That's the first time we've seen that, so I'm sure the radar is pinging, and people will want to start getting to know who this Norwich City side is that is leading the Championship with Leeds, Middlesbrough, Aston Villa, West Brom and others, Nottingham Forest, somehow behind Norwich in the table. So we will see. As long as Norwich keep confounding us all, and even my own expectations, then there can't really be any complaints. So I think that's it. We've got another week to calm down before we head to Bristol City. It's a 5:30 kick-off in front of the Sky TV cameras, so that's going to be a tricky game and a really interesting one. Fair play to the crowd today. They were generally excellent, a little quiet in the first half, but can't really blame them for enjoying themselves. And I don't know, it's hard. You don't want to get blasé about these late goals and these late wins, but you know, it's difficult when you're exposed to something so good for so long. But a little line, Marco Stiepelman told me these feelings, the way this is going at the moment, it doesn't happen very often. He's never experienced it and felt it before in football, and he hopes that it continues and goes on for a long time to come. And I think we can all agree with Marco in that sentiment. Loads more to come, of course, over at PinkUn.com with the fallout and reaction from this afternoon's 3-2 win. I don't know if I actually told you the score, but that's what it was. So you can catch all that. Paddy Sunday Brunch on the PinkUn app. Make sure you download it if you haven't. That will be tomorrow. PinkUn, just search PinkUn, 2 words, UN, in Google Play or the App Store, and you'll be able to catch all that. And I might well do a corrective video tomorrow on my channels if I manage to get it sorted too. But in the pouring rain here at Carrow Road, Norwich have won. They remain top of the table. They're 6 points clear of third, heading into the remaining 2 games before Christmas kicks in. So that should mix things up very nicely. Enjoy it. Have a lovely night. Norwich are still top of the table.